Silent Thunder, Deep Reflection 2. The psychology of a man who never stopped loving after she walked away. Most people read chapter 1 and feel the weight, even if they can't name it. They feel Antonio's silence, his stiffness, the way he walks like a man who has aged 10 years for every one he lived. But very few readers say the sentence that explains everything. Antonio is a man who loved someone who didn't stay. And that changes a person. Not in the poetic way the world pretends, not in the soft, cinematic way love stories show. It changes him in the way weather erodes stone. This is the psychology beneath chapter 1. Antonio is not simply grieving. He is reorganizing his identity around the absence of someone who never came back. He is not mourning her. He is becoming the aftermath of her. This is the part readers feel in their stomachs, even if they don't consciously notice why. Antonio doesn't return home because he's healed. He returns home because he has run out of road. Every man who has ever held on to a love he couldn't put down will recognize this. Every woman who has loved a man who carries a silent wound will see the shadow. Every person who has loved someone avoidant, someone who walked away quietly, someone who vanished into their own panic, will feel the ache under the lines. People think heartbreak is loud. It isn't. It's silent thunder. It lives in the body quietly. It builds pressure slowly. It changes the way a man breathes, the way he stands, the way he waits for the world to soften, knowing it won't. When Antonio sees Emilia's shape in the shadows, that is not memory. That is the mind trying to complete a story that ended mid-sentence. Psychology calls it ambiguous loss, a loss without closure, a wound without a grave, a goodbye that never happened, so the nervous system never turns the page. This is why Antonio speaks to the mountains and not to God. God feels too far. The mountains are at least present. This is why the valley feels like accusation, because home remembers the versions of you that you abandoned. This is why he feels the ache in his chest as thunder, because unresolved loss becomes pressure, stored, held, smouldering under the ribs. Readers will feel a kinship with this because almost everyone alive has carried a love that didn't die when the relationship did. Most people have someone whose memory arrives with teeth. Most people know what it is to hold on to someone who is still alive but not here. And most people know that heartbreak only looks romantic from the outside. From the inside, it is debilitating. It is heavy. It is exhausting. It steals years from a man. It shapes his self-worth. It dictates his emotional architecture. It turns a son into a soldier into a survivor, and a survivor into a ghost of the man he meant to be. Antonio is not heroic in chapter 1. He is human, devastatingly human. And that is why readers will love him. Because he carries the kind of grief that no one sees until it leaks into the way he looks at the land, the way he speaks to mountains, the way he holds his breath when memory ambushes him, the way he walks forward even when he doesn't believe in anything ahead. This is the psychology of silent thunder, and this is why Antonio is not a romantic protagonist. He is the man someone loved, the man someone left, and the man who never stopped living inside the echo. Readers recognize him because somewhere in their lives there is a version of him. That version might be a man they loved, a man they became, a father they watched break quietly, a friend they could never reach, a story they lived through and barely survived. Silent Thunder is not about losing someone. It's about what happens when you never stop caring, long after caring has become a kind of burden you cannot set down. This is the kinship. This is the bond. This is why Chapter 1 lingers. It calls to the wound in people, and the wound answers.